Off the heels of AEW All Out, folks, we got an explanation from John Moxley. We got an explanation, but enough of that stuff, enough of the pair panel. Let's just play, we'll get at her. All right. So on today's show, like I said, Moxley versus Darby Allin announced for Grand Slam. We're going to get into why that is. We have Nigel McGuinness versus BRYAN Danielson, also at Grand Slam. We'll get to that one too. And Ricochet versus Guerrero puts on a hell of a match. But today, first, we're going to start off with the gauntlet match, the tag team gauntlet match that went on AEW Dynamite to determine who will face the Young Bucks for the tag team titles. Now, winners of this match were a put together team that happened tonight on AEW Dynamite. And that was Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher. Kyle Fletcher and Will Ospreay were kind of put together by Don Callis. There was a segment earlier in the night where Don Callis was talking to Will Ospreay. He had Kyle Fletcher there, and he had Takeshita there. And basically Don Callis looked at it and says, I did you the favor of letting you leave the Callis family. And since this gauntlet match is up here for the tag team titles, and we want some gold in the family, we want you to team with Kyle Fletcher. Since you guys have been teamed so much over time, over in the years in Japan and all over different countries, we want you to join Kyle. And Kyle had to beg him a little bit. Ospreay didn't really want to do it too much, but he said, you know what? I can't turn down Kyle Fletcher. We'll do it. This kind of ticked off Takeshita a little bit too. He wasn't exactly fine. He felt that he should probably have that title shot, tag team title shot, possibly for him. So I can see where that's coming from. This isn't over yet. But in the gauntlet match, you had FTR, you had Ospreay versus Fletcher. They started the match, which was followed by the Righteous, the Undisputed Kingdom, the Acclaimed, who kind of thought might actually be the ones that win this. Well, we had Moonsari and Mace, the former Maximum Male models. We also had Top Flight, the Outrunners, and then one of the newest additions of AEW, the Grizzled Young Veterans. It was an excellent match, a lot of fun match all over the place there. Right, one of the best sequences of the match was Dante Fletcher and Will Ospreay going at it with each other. Really fun match, a lot of high spots there. It was hard to really pick to see who was going to win this match. I was kind of surprised that Ospreay and Fletcher did win this. I thought maybe there'd be an issue with Takeshita possibly coming out to cause them to lose. That wasn't the case. Ospreay and Fletcher ended up winning, which will then means they will face the Young Bucks, looks like at Grand Slam in 2 weeks' time. So, like an excellent matchup there. Like I said, a lot of fun. Highly suggest you go see it. Will Ospreay is just basically giving the entire world here at AEW. He is giving everything. He is literally the face of this company at this point. He really is. And there's no way you can sit there and argue he is not. He is given almost every opportunity. He is a mainstay on that show. He literally is, all at this point, almost considered, I wouldn't call him Mr. AEW. That kind of time go to somebody else that we're going to talk about in a second. But right now, Will Ospreay is definitely the number one guy in AEW. He really is. So, hats off to him. I don't know if they're going to win the titles over the Young Bucks. It's hard to maybe see that not happening, but it's hard to see it happening as well. So, it's a good possibility that we're going to see the Young Bucks lose those titles to Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher. And I'm looking forward to it. They can probably looks like they're going to strap everything to Ospreay for the most part right now. All right, though. I mentioned the face of AEW. It's hard to say who the face of AEW probably is. I say it's Ospreay, but the man who might be the actual face of Ospreay too is our favorite here on DA Wrestling, and that's Jon Moxley. Jon Moxley, they started showing a bit of footage, not the whole thing from AEW's All Out. They did have a little bit of a promo from Jon Moxley on the outside after All Out, where he said that Bryan Danielson didn't really have the stomach for this when they started this thing a couple of years ago. That he wasn't that they're supposed to change everything, build a ground, a foundation that will live on. They tried to do it the proper way. They mentioned William Regal, but didn't call him William Regal. He called it his lordship. As we all know, in past history, William Regal has been known as his lordship, William Regal. So we all knew kind of who he was talking about, especially if you follow wrestling for years. So we know who that was. He mentioned too how his lordship called Bryan Danielson like the perfect wrestler. And that did happen when BCC first started. He also mentioned too how Moxley and Regal used to talk, and how Moxley was more like Regal, born naughty, as they all said, born naughty. And then says that Bryan Danielson didn't have the stomach for it. Kind of reason as to why they did what they did with the new BCC. It wasn't, they tried diplomacy, they tried being democratic about it. Jon Moxley basically, instead of going this way, is choosing war on AEW. Let's see what happens. That being said, at one point in the night, we had Private Party come out. We had Commander come out. They were attacked by the BCC, the new BCC, by Pac, by Claudio, by Marina Shafir. Marina Shafir choked out Commander in the process, while John basically beat up some other people that kind of walked around a little bit and it surveyed the damage. Pac says, that's a promo saying, this is a new era, this is a new time. I was lost, but now I have a purpose. And it's done. They're taking over. Basically, busting miss people who haven't felt they just have had a fair shot, I guess, in AEW. Pac, I find, had a pretty good fair shot. Right? Maria Shafir, I can understand for sure. She's a nice addition to this new BCC. I like it a lot. They mentioned how Wheeler years at home with Bryan Danielson, taking care of Bryan Danielson. Kind of funny how that one worked out. Bryan Danielson used to call him like the little prick. But that happens there. So at one point we saw Darby Allin comes out. Darby Allin is in Kentucky. That's where the show emanated from. Darby comes out and he just calls out Moxley for the right away. He just calls him out right away. John comes out, shows that he has no weapons on him. It's just him and Marina. Marina gets Darby Allin's face right away. Doesn't attack him, doesn't do anything crazy, but goes in there and says, doesn't do a thing, just stares at him. Mox takes her away and says, before John could even, John says to him, the stuff between me and you is not over yet, not by a long shot. So, before John can even get any further, Darby Allin stops and says, let me tell you a little quick story. He tells me how in his first year of wrestling, he wrestled somebody on the Independencies, which happened to be Jon Moxley. He got beat up. Everybody he found in the wrestling industry was just fake. John was the only one that's true. He said he always wanted to be like John. But after what John did to Bryan Danielson, he wants nothing to do with John anymore. He doesn't want to be like him. He doesn't want to do it. John tells him that you basically aren't ready to be a world champion. You're not ready to be a champion yet. You weren't ready your first year. You weren't ready 5 years ago. You weren't ready 2 years ago. You're not ready now. John says something very interesting. Now, John's talked over the past couple of weeks about how people feel they're entitled to have title shots and all those things. John goes, I think you should give me your title shot at Grand Slam that you rightfully earned to have, and give it to me because you're not ready to hold the world title shot, have that world title shot. Darby Allin basically calls him a hypocrite right to his face. He says that's not going to happen. John's response is, you're going to make me earn it? That's fine. I will have no problem earning it. And challenges Darby Allin at Grand Slam. Whoever wins that match gets the title shot. Darby Allin's title shot is up for grabs at Grand Slam. So, what do I think is going to happen here? It's an interesting question. It's hard to say Darby's probably not going to win this match. It really is. It's hard to say that Darby's not going to win this match. But I'm a John guy. I'm a Moxley guy. I like John. One of my favorite wrestlers in AEW. I'm a fan of Jon Moxley for a very long time. His book's phenomenal. If you ever get a chance to read it, go out and get it. I highly suggest it too. Guys, I think John's going to win this one. I think this is a stepping stone for what they want to do with BCC, what they want to do, make him as a dominant force. John, to me, has to win. If he's not going to win, he's probably going to injure Darby probably or something. But I think John is the one that's going to win this match. I know I'm just picking favorites here because I am a favorite Johnny Moxley favorite guy, but it's hard not to argue it. It really is hard not to argue the fact that John shouldn't probably win this. Because the bigger match, no offense to people who are Darby Allin fans, and there's a lot of them out there. The bigger match right now is John Moxley versus Bryan Danielson after what John did at All Out. Very fair to say, right? I'd rather see John Moxley versus Danielson too. Why not? Who wouldn't want to see those two guys? Right? It's a perfect end too as well to Bryan Danielson. Now, like I said before we said this before, Bryan Danielson is not really under contract with the AEW. He's more or less on a handshake deal. He has gone out and said publicly that once he loses that title, he is done wrestling. John's gonna be the one that ends it. It has to be. The only person I can see doing it would maybe be Ospreay. That's it. But we'll find out on that one too. We'll find out in 2 weeks' time at Grand Slam. Speaking of Grand Slam, speaking of Bryan Danielson, we are having almost like a little bit of an ROH thing. Nigel McGuinness is in the ring. He's talking about how Bryan Danielson has dodged him for a long time. I mean, Nigel McGuinness has a history with Bryan Danielson at Ring of Honor. They both wrestled each other several times at Ring of Honor, and Bryan Danielson has won. And Nigel McGuinness has gone on record saying he hates Bryan Danielson. It's been well documented. Obviously, it's for a storyline, folks. So Nigel McGuinness runs into Christopher Daniels early night. So, to be honest with you, after the Darby Allin John Moxley thing, and Nigel McGuinness wants to talk to Tony Khan. He's in the ring. He's in the ring. He has a contract. It has been announced. If Bryan Danielson is clear, Nigel McGuinness versus Bryan Danielson at Grand Slam. Now, we haven't had a response from Bryan Danielson yet. Nobody had one yet because it just happened tonight. He was away off nursing his wounds as far as storyline goes. So we're going to see what happens. I'm assuming this match is going to happen. They've already announced it. Bryan Danielson versus Nigel McGuinness. Looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a great match. It's good to see Nigel McGuinness back. He did have to retire due to certain health issues. He is back by the looks of it. He looks healthy. He looks very well. Definitely better than what he looked like when he was in WWE as an announcer. No offense to a lot of people who liked him. I liked him as an announcer as well in WWE. But he looks like he's in a great condition now. He's healthy, and that's what matters. So we're getting Nigel McGuinness versus Bryan Danielson at Grand Slam AEW in 2 weeks. Dynamite. Looking forward to it. Now, Ricochet was on tonight. Ricochet had a little display with Ospreay at All Out. Because Ospreay called him out, saying, get some matches on your belt, get some wins, come fight me. Ricochet is starting to get those wins. He had a phenomenal match tonight with Sammy Guevara, right? Very high flying for the most part, right? A lot of ground stuff, a lot of flying work, right? One point, Ricochet jumps over the ropes into a twist, tornado twist, hits Sammy Guevara and hits the outside. Sammy Guevara and him start fighting on the outside of the ring. They get all the way up to the ramp. Sammy Guevara throws him into the entrance. Then Sammy Guevara does Sammy Guevara stuff. Just gets on top of the entrance and does a moonsault onto Ricochet. And the funny part about this is they get back in the ring. Sammy Guevara puts Ricochet back outside of the ring, goes aside, does the exact same move that Ricochet did to him. A little bit prettier, too. I'm not going to lie to you. A little bit prettier. Right? Right, Ricochet gets they go back in the ring. Ricochet gets back in the ring too with a flying elbow. Right. At one point, Sammy Guevara tries to get the GTH on him. He misses. Ricochet ends up clocking him with a very vicious axe kick to the head. It looks like it kind of hurt Sammy a little bit too. Like it looked like it was like the sound was like that, like hard. He ends up hitting Vertigo, gets the 1-2-3. At the end of the match, the Beast Morta comes out and attacks Ricochet. So it looks like it might be Ricochet's next opponent. Sammy kind of chases him off. Sammy obviously is the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champion with Dustin Runnels. So he helps him out. Ricochet goes off. It's done. Excellent match. High stakes. You go watch it. A lot of fun. There's no reason why you shouldn't go see this match. If you want to see Ricochet in AEW, this is a good chance to go see him in a singles match. All right. Moving on. We have Mariah May. She had a match versus Queen Aminata. Ring of Honor, I believe. It's a good match. Mariah May is defending her title quite nicely, quite regularly, which is good to see. I'm a big Mariah. I like Mariah May. I'm a very big fan of her. She's very cute too, by the way. She ends up winning the match after a very hard fought, hard hitting matchup. They did mention how her first match in AEW that she kind of hit hard. Now that kind of comes back. She was in New Japan Strong women's division, so she has been hitting strong. So after Mariah May wins, Mariah has posted a little post promo interview to herself while she's laying on the ground with the world title in her hand, with her women's title in her hand, saying, "I haven't had my world title championship title celebration yet, like everyone else has, because I'm waiting for somebody." She calls out Mina Sakara, or Sakaya. Calls out Mina, saying, "I miss Mina. I want Mina to come back." Mina basically said, "I'm not going to have any part of this. You two, between them two, doesn't want to choose sides. She loves both girls." My guess is we're going to get this very soon. Mina's going to come out, and my guess is Mina's going to challenge Mariah May at some point. This is probably going to happen. This is more than likely going to happen down the line. And that's okay. That's good. I'm okay with this. I still don't think Mariah May should lose the title, though. I like where she is here. But who knows? Well, it depends on how popularity is. Depends on Mina's whatever contract situation is with her and whatever stuff in Japan's going on. It makes a lot of sense. But apparently, from what I heard, she has moved to the US, from what I understand. But we'll find out from there. We're going to be getting a TNT title match today with Jack Perry versus Lio Rush. Jack Perry was driving up at the beginning of the show in his Jack Perry scapegoat black truck. I don't understand the scapegoat thing anymore. To me, that scapegoat thing with Jack Perry has a shelf life. It's only so far you can go with this. It really is. There's only so far you can really go with this. But we'll see how far this goes. Just for the sake of going, see how far it goes. Why not? Lio Rush comes out with this big jacket and whatever. Lio Rush does excellent match, excellent opening match. Very big back and forth. Jack Perry jumps on right from the start just before the bell, starts beating him up nicely, right? Gets to the other side. Lio Rush comes out with one of his friends. He gets kicked out eventually. They hit a beautiful standing Spanish fly. Lio Rush does. Lio Rush almost tries to win, and Jack Perry hits him with the running knee. Gets the 1-2-3. He did a lot, right? Jack Perry ends up winning. The one thing I started to find funny, though, right now with Jack Perry, I kind of noticed it a little bit. A lot of people over the years, I mean, I can't believe I'm going to do this. I mean, compare him a little bit to The Miz. I know. Comment down below if how crazy you think this is. Also, if you guys are liking the show here, you're liking the episodes here, make sure you like, share, subscribe down below there. Right? Take a look there. It's a small click for you, big click for us here at DA Wrestling. We love doing this to you. We love doing the AEW Dynamites. We love doing the Raw. We love doing SmackDown. Right? We like doing what we did on Raw this week too with the concussion, tough, and headshots. Make sure you like, share, subscribe down below, guys. Thank you very much there. But anyway, as I was saying, The Miz has been, crapped on for many years for taking and stealing other people's moves. He did it with Bryan Danielson with the kicks. Oddly enough, Jack Perry did the exact same thing. He won tonight with that running knee. Before that, too, he was hitting Lio Rush with Snapdragon suplexes like Kenny Omega. They really mentioned that, too. They really pushed that. My guess is right now, they're building something here with Jack Perry and possibly Kenny Omega. If Kenny Omega is going to be cleared at some point there with his after his diverticulitis is all said and done, Kenny, I think, might be the one that comes out. Have to find out and see what happens with that. But it's a good that is going to happen. Right? But that's just a guess right now. I don't know if it's going to happen. We'll have to wait to see how Kenny Omega's health is and what's going to go on with that. Because that his health is way more important. Now, they did show highlights last night of on AEW tonight of the lights out Swerve versus Hangman match. The match was, as we said on Monday, was very brutal. Sometimes disturbing to watch. A lot of the headshots conversations came into play there. They showed the headshot there too with Swerve. They showed the syringe that went to Swerve's mouth. They showed Swerve getting powerbombed into a cinder block. They showed how violent the match was. They did a quick interview with Hangman Page, and Hangman basically just flat out says that he would burn down 1,000 houses if Swerve owned them all. That he is going to attack and beat up everybody, hurt everyone that tries to help Swerve along the way going forward. A lot of people did not like this. A lot of people in the back were very shocked by it. They all said, "What the hell's wrong with you?" Especially from the Dark Order. Eventually got to Jeff Jarrett. Jeff Jarrett told him he will have regrets and he will pay the price for putting his hands on his wife, number one, and that he will regret all things that he's seen people go down this road before. He knows what's going to happen. Hangman ended up beating up Jeff Jarrett. It's going to lead to a Jeff Jarrett versus Hangman match again. Probably more violent than it was. It could also be could lead to something else too with Jeff Jarrett, but who knows? We'll find out. But it looks like that's where it's going right now. It's going to be Jeff Jarrett versus Hangman at some point. Probably to elevate Hangman more into this new psychotic character that Hangman has. It's going to be fun. Now, the last part of the night, we did get an Okada interview, how happy he was in the way he won the match. That's fine. Look, there wasn't much there. Like, I find the times not doing a lot with Okada. I just don't find they're using Okada the way they probably should. But we'll see what transpires more and more with this. We did get a Christian Cage interview, though. And he comes out how he talked about how he won the AEW contract to face Danielson whenever he wants, or whoever the AEW championship. He says he's going to take the title from AEW from Danielson. I don't think that's going to happen. Personally, I don't think Christian Cage. I don't see the point of giving Christian Cage a title. I just don't. Yes, he is one of the best heels right now in AEW, but to me, it doesn't make sense to give him the title. That's just my opinion on it. If you guys want an opinion on it, please comment down below if you guys think that Christian Cage should be the world champion. I just don't think it's time. I think the other people you put that title on to make it look justified. You can have him lose. You can have him face Danielson and lose, and that's fine. Right? Or you can have Moxley beat Danielson, then he tries to cash in on Moxley and loses to Moxley. Whatever. Don't care. But he talks about there how Cage, he's going to win the title off Danielson. He is going to dominate there. He saw a change in Luchasaurus. And Luchasaurus had him in a chokeslam predicament. He's finally the monster he wants him to be. So we see some ground there building up there. Luchasaurus, or kill switch as they call him now. I still don't understand the whole kill switch thing. But we're seeing more progression here with kill switch. So we'll see what's going to happen eventually with the patriarchy here. It's going to go down the line with these guys here, probably. It's going to be more or less that Cage will either have a return on him, or it's going to be Cage is going to lose that title, or maybe if they do get the title, maybe they do. Maybe Cage does win the title. Maybe Cage is the one that beats Danielson and retires him. I don't see it, but I could be wrong. But I don't think I think he'll be more of a transition champion, in my opinion. I think Cage will be a transition champion. I don't see him holding it long, right? So, but yeah, we'll see what happens with that. Other than that, guys, that was AEW Dynamite. It was a good show, good 2 hours. A lot of action, a lot of promo stuff, especially after All Out there. Really building towards Grand Slam in 2 weeks. Like I said, at Grand Slam in 2 weeks, we're going to have Jon Moxley versus Darby Allin. Darby puts his title shot on the line. Bryan Danielson versus Nigel McGuinness. But it looks like we're getting the Young Bucks versus Ospreay and Fletcher. So that's going to be those right now. Looks like 3 matches they're going to want to tune in for on AEW Dynamite. I will be watching it. Andrew will be watching it. And he will be reporting on it back to you guys after that. So let you guys know. Let Andrew do the work here. Let Andrew do the work here. So you guys know. Make sure you subscribe down below, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure you follow us on TikTok, DA Sports, on Twitter, on DA Wrestling. Make sure you follow me at A Purcell on X, right? As well as D Lions on X, right? Thank you very much, guys. Make sure you follow down below. Hey, you know what? You guys enjoying your YouTube journey right now? Take a look at this video down below here. Probably right here or here. Take a look at it. Enjoy. Have yourself a good night there. See you later.